Hello, my name is Gusti Aditya Kidungaji. I'm from Information System at Binus Online University, and welcome to this video. So in this video is about from generative to agentic AI, boosting your productivity with AI agents. The learning outcome of this video that I hope you can have it by the end of this video is the first one, distinguish generative versus agentic AI, which is understand the key difference and why it can change how you work. Second thing is describe how AI agent works, for example like the loop reasoning, planning, tool use, and memory. The third one is apply agentic AI to your real tasks so it can boost your productivity. And the last one is recognize the risk and guardrail. What can go wrong with autonomous AI and how to stay safe even though you are using an AI. Before we go too far, let's talk about the AI journey. The first AI related to the rules. In the past, AI is follow fixed rules and make prediction. For example, things spam filters, Netflix recommendation, fraud detection, etc. And come to the 2022, coming the generative AI, which is AI that can generate the content by the input. For example, like ChatGPT that can generate text, image, code, and audio. And then the goals, which is what we want to discuss in this video, is related to the agentic AI, which is now when the agentic AI pursues a goal through many steps using tools with limited human supervision. So basically you can say something or give a goal, they will do something for you autonomously instead of just creating a content. So before that, let's think about what is the difference between generative AI and agentic AI. Basically, generative AI is something like brain in jar. So there is a brain that can answer you a question, but they cannot do anything, which is the actor still is you. So you input a prompt, they will give you an answer. For example, you're asking about what is today, they will answer you, oh, today is B, for example. Then actor is you. The minimal for this one is basically because generative AI only produces content, they rely on their data. For example, if the generative AI is trained only data from 2022, they will only answer based on the data that they have, which is coming from 2022. Different from generative AI, we have agentic AI, which is the AI agent, the brain that have the hand or the tools. Instead of only brain in the jar, this is a hand that have the tools to do something. So the input is your goal, the output will be completed tasks, and the actor is the agent. For example, you asking an agent to please send an email about my leave to my boss. They will generate a draft email and then compose it to the email and then send it to your boss autonomously. That's the agentic AI. So they are not only creating a content, but also can do something for you. Basically, someone in the computer, they can control something. And because agentic AI is basically, they have a tools, so the information that coming from agentic AI can be different from generative AI. For example, you asking something about the newest data, the agentic AI have the power to crawl the data to the website and give it to you. So the information, it can be more up to date instead of only generative AI in the first beginning of the ChatGPT. And how the agentic AI works. Basically, the anatomy of the agent is, the first is the brain. The brain for the AI agent is same like the generative AI. It's a LLM or large language model. This is basically like Gemini, GPT-4o, or now is GPT-5, Claude, etc. And the difference from the generative AI, for the agent AI, they have hands or tools, which is they can use to do something. For example, crawling a web, for example, compose an email, do something, create an event in your calendar, etc. Basically, AI then have access to something which is tools. And they have a notebook, or we can call it a memory of the AI agent. This is the short-term memory or context for the agent to remember something. For example, if you do something in the AI agent, there will be something called context window. This is the short-term memory. So they will remember what they do previously in that session, so they can do something else. The diagram or the flow for the agentic AI, basically the first one is when you send a query to the agentic AI, they will make a reasoning and create a plan. They will create the plan what they need to do. For example, you asking to write a leave email, they will create the breakdown of the step. For example, the one is the creating a draft and review the draft and then compose to your email and send it to your manager or your boss, and then after that check the status, it is sent, failed, or etc. And after that completed, they will respond to you that the job is done and what the job has been done by the AI itself. So this is popular agentic tools that you can use in your daily job. The first one is about research. You can use Gemini Deep Research, ChatGPT Deep Research, or Perplexity. And for the coding and building, you can use Google Anti-Gravity, Cloud Code, the most popular one for the professional, Cloud Code, Open Code, and GitHub Copilot. And for general agents, you can use ChatGPT Agent Mode, Manus, and for the expert one or the enthusiast, you can also try self-hosted, which is like OpenClaw or Hermes Agent. But this is basically AI that can access to your whole operating system. So for this one, make sure you have the understanding about what you do. Yeah. So this is the real world application that hopefully can make you understand how agentic AI is already there in our world and help you, and that can help you with your job and productivity. The first one is deep research. For example, you can ask agentic AI to compare 3 free project management tools for my small business. For example, you want to run your small business and you don't know which free project management tools then you need to use. You can do deep research by asking, please compare 3 free project management tools. So they will do deep research, which is they will crawling many resources from the journal, from the website, articles, etc., and give you a feedback, comparison, etc., so you can understand. Instead of doing you manually browsing the information, the agentic can do it for you. And the second one is related to the software engineering, is building a website, which is you can use AI anti-gravity. For example, you can ask the AI build a simple expense tracker, a web page, for example. So this agent will create a code, which is the, for example, HTML code. Then they will review it, test it, and after that, if it's complete, they will give you the file and also the website that you can access. Instead of doing manually, the agent can do it for you. Not only writing, they can also do the testing as well. And the third part, for example, you can ask also to analyze data, building dashboard. For example, if you have Cloud Subscription Pro, for example, there is an add-in in the Excel that you can ask the Cloud in the Excel to do something, create a dashboard, create a table, etc. They can do it for you. They will analyze the data set, for example, analyze my sales data and create a summary dashboard. They will analyze the data and bring you the dashboard without you doing anything. So you just typing and you do something else. When you back to your laptop, the job's done. That will push your productivity. And then what happens if the agentic AI, we talk about agentic AI, they have tools to do something else. What if the agentic AI doesn't have tool required for our requirement? For example, I want the agentic AI to search access to my Google Drive, access to my Gmail, access to my GitHub, Slack, etc. In the agentic AI, we have something called MCP, or plugin tools for any agent. Basically, what is the MCP? MCP is the Model Context Protocol. Basically, the model is the AI agent that needs to touch down, context what the agent can do, and protocol, the standard they can access to that tools. Basically, the MCP is something like API, but this is for AI agent. For example, you go to the, for example, Figma. You want to automate your design in the Figma using AI. You can use the MCP for Figma. You can apply that MCP to your AI agent. For example, you can ask Cloud, please install the MCP skill for Figma. Now, the AI agent will automatically install that skill to your MCP, to your AI agent using that MCP. Then when you write something in your Cloud, in your AI agent, they will connect to that MCP and create something else. So the MCP is basically additional tools that you can use from third party, so you can let your AI agent to do something else. That's the beauty of the AI agent. Okay, Now we know the potential coming from the AI agent, but also there is a risk coming from that this is the guardrail that keeps agent safe. The first one is human in the loop. Basically, because agent can do something, write something, the human is still responsible for that. So that's why humans should be there in the loop to do approval, because when you do something about the agent, they will ask you for an approval to do something else, to do something like that. The approval is still on you, that you need to understand what they will do, and you will protect the agent work by giving the approval or rejection, etc. And the second one is least privilege. Give agent only access they truly need. Don't give it too much, because the agent, which is the same like the generative AI, they can hallucinate. If it have so many access to your system or to your project, the dangerous it will be if they hallucinate, they will edit or do something to your project or your system. And the last one is know the limits. Agile still hallucinate. The fact that and accumulate API cost fast, yeah. For example, when the agent is hallucinate, they can looping something that it doesn't require, and that will cost you a very significant amount of token. That's why you should specify what the agent need to do, and if the prompt or the task you give to the agent is more specific, they will be understand better and do the job also the better one. This is the guardrail that you need to do. The first important is human in the loop, least privilege, give the access all you need, and know the limits for the AI agent for what you need to do. So basically, autonomous is smart living world, but accountable is the legal one. So this is the conclusion about this video. Is what you can do now is you can now understand, distinguish generative from agentic. Generative AI can create content from a prompt, and agentic AI completes the goal across multiple steps with the tools and memory. And describe the agentic loop. You understand previously the goal, reasoning, planning, act, observe, remember, repeat until the task is done. And you can, I hope also you can apply the agent to your real tasks. For example, you can do deep research for brainstorming, etc. Research for something else, building, looking for a tool, etc. And the last one is recognize the risk, because this is AI, they can hallucinate, they can do something wrong. Whatever the AI do, the human behind it is the one that will have the responsibility. Thank you for watching. That is my video about the generative and agentic AI. Here I have a QR code which is contain a prompt that you can use. Also there is a step there. You can scan on it and you can try it. Do your own research and your own experimental. Just try the AI agent, look for your use cases, and boost your productivity with this AI agent. This is the future of the AI. Thank you so much for watching. Sorry if there's any problem. Thank you.